Hey everybody, Shay here. I just wanted to share a little bit of a story that has come up while I've been unpacking a bunch of my books that I had put into storage about a year ago because I thought I was going to move. I am not going to move anymore. The house is off the market and I am committing to sticking around in this location for the next, 2, 3, maybe even 4 years. I'm not sure. But in any case, I left most of my furniture on the side of the road a year ago, so that's gone. I only got the minimal stuff left. But man, I wanted my books back, and all my books were in storage. I'm talking thousands of books between any kind of, like, whether they're novels or magazines, gaming books, comics, graphic novels, you name it. I was really missing it, and it was almost a year to this day when I packed everything up and got it out of here so I could, like, quickly jump ship if I had to. I just wanted to disrupt my life a little bit more and see if I had some just sets. I had no plan B. I just wanted to kind of figure things out based on whatever happened next. In any case, the storage facility that I have all my stuff at is nearby this thrift shop place that I used to go to like 30 years ago, like monthly. I was probably 19 at the time. So I had just left the city to go to university, and then I was kind of out of the town for, decade and a half, moving around, going to Europe, coming back, and then now I'm living in a place that's far enough removed from there that it's not easy to just drop through, but I have to pass this place to get to the storage place. God, I'm saying place a lot. In any case, and I'm saying any case a lot. God, it's been a long time since it's been on the camera. That's the problem. I was going to say in any case again. The point is, I was desperate to find a specific series of books because I dropped into this thrift place. Every time I say place now, it's like a red flag. And I remember being like 2 standard shelves wide of books like 30 years ago, like because it was mostly just like thrift clothes, and there was like a little section for records, maybe 1 shelf wide, like a container bin wide. It was very small. I mean, the place was big, but not for like books, records, paraphernalia, I suppose. Wow, I'm derailing. I was going to tell a very quick story. This was probably going to be a 5-minute video, and I've derailed. I'm literally editing the video right now, and I realized that I derailed myself so bad that I forgot to give you the point of saying that there were only about 1 or 2 shelves wide of books available at this thrift shop. When I went back 6 weeks ago, it was basically 4 rows wide. And we're talking like Walmart length rows and back to back. We're talking bang, 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 bang. And so like 8 rows. And the endpoints. And the wall on the other side. Like, it was almost an entire corner of this entire thrift area. It was completely saturated with books. So I have to go back is what I'm saying. I forgot that point of the story. I'm going to send you back there, and I'm back to the video. Go back to the video. I'm sorry. What do you want from me? And so I would peruse these shelves because back in my teenage years, I was really into gaming books, like novels set in gaming settings, if that makes sense. But then there was a name that I kept seeing over and over and over again. And at one point, I'm like, look, I'm just going to start buying these books because there seems to be a lot of them. And it was by this author called Piers Anthony. Okay, so, I mean, and this is what happened as soon as I started reading it again. There's like that the book is like, it's coming apart. I have to like rebind it. It's literally hanging on by this corner right here. But I had never read them. Spell for Chameleon is the first one in the Xanth novel series, and I had just gone back there, of course, like 6 weeks ago, and I saw at least 10 to 14 more books, and I was like, I don't even remember which ones I had, because I might have bought these 30 years ago, but I had never read them, because I just got this compulsive draw that I would go to this thrift place to just see if they had more Xanth series books. So I got this one. I'll pull the other ones out just so you see where I'm at. And so I needed to know which ones I had so that when I go back there, I have this list on my phone that I could just quickly scan and then pick up the ones that I don't have. Again, for compulsive reasons. But I also want to read them. But for compulsive reasons. We've got the second book here, A Source of Magic, and I believe, I mean, all of these take place in the same place. I do remember starting this one, but it would have been 30 years ago, and I remember maybe like, I don't know, a couple, like 4, 5, 6 chapters. I certainly didn't finish it. In any case, second book, we got the third book, Castle Ragna, is that what it's called? Rugna? Okay, now again, I know nothing about this. If you know anything about Piers Anthony or the series, or why it's so prolific, I mean, I know there's a lot of books now in the series, but why it's so prolific to find these in thrift shops. Does anyone know the reason behind that? As a Castle Ragna, we got the Centaur Isle. I know this is a place that's in the first book, The Spell for Chameleon, but I'm not sure if they go there. I didn't finish it, but you know, like, the binding on this one is like, it's perfect, man. I mean, okay, it's not perfect. There's like maybe some wrinkles in here, okay? But it's still solid, like it's not warped. It's crazy. The pages are yellowed, sure, but this is an old book, man. These things are like look, I think it's like the late 70s, early 80s. These run through all into the 90s. Like this is an 82, 81, 82. It's crazy. And we've got the 5th book here, Ogre. I mean, these are even less yellowed. They're yellowed, but they're not, you know what I mean, like that crazy age, like they've been in the sun or moisture or whatever. No, and the binding is still relatively stiff, even though it's got some cracks in it. We got Nightmare, pretty solid condition. I'm kind of worried about flipping the cover over and seeing it split, but no, it's not. It's holding together. So there you go, Nightmare. We got Dragon on a Pedestal. Got some glare in there. This one's a little bit more worn. See, like this is what I expect to see from older books, right? There's like yellow. Like I'm not sure if there's like age or if like this is what they dyed the page edges, because it looks like it's a different tint than the pages on the inside, right? The pages look at that tan color. But in any case, this one's got wear and tear. It's got some cracks, and again, that doesn't matter to me because again, this was a compulsive thing I was on back in those days. Almost perfect. Almost again. Barely. I mean, I don't know if the glare there, there's like no cracks, man. There's like, okay, there's a minor crack, but I'm saying it's pretty stiff. Look at the pages. It's almost completely white. Now maybe I've just taken really good care of them, but you have to keep in mind these books would have been early 80s. They would have been left in the thrift shop. This is a 1990, okay, or 85 to 90 printed. 13th printing 1990. First edition was 1985. Again, it got a crease in the cover here, but it's barely cracked. So someone's read this once and it got dropped. But did I say that? Cruel Lie, like little wordplay maybe going on there. We got Golem in the Gears. This one always threw me off because it was a frog on the cover, but I'm not sure where the golem comes into play here. But there you go. Not sure. I know nothing about the Xanth series. Once again, a bit of wear and tear just from like dings from like banging on things on surfaces and stuff like that, but no real creases. It's crazy, man. This is crazy. This might be the worst one of the bunch. This one's definitely been read a couple times. There's like, this is what I expect to see. This is the latest of the books. Strangely enough, I went from 1 to 9, and I don't think I planned for that. I just luckily got, okay, fair enough. Like I would have bought these up into like in the mid to late 90s is when I was chasing these down. So some of these might have only been 10 to 14 years old, you know, but this one's definitely got some use on it, but the pages are relatively fine. Yeah, definitely some extra cracks, but you open it up and it still feels like a solid unread book. It's crazy. And this is a book 13, I believe, so this is where it jumps a little bit. Now there's no actual book numbers on these. I had to create a spreadsheet to track all of the books in the series, and it was massive. Maybe I could share it a little bit. I kind of don't have the setup for that right now, so maybe I'll just put up my screen. I got a list here of 48 books that go all the way up into the current year, man. I got a TBD book in here, the 3 novel nymphs. Before that, I got Apocalypse from 2023. Xanth series, baby. I have a feeling I'm still going to be able to find quite a few of these. And they're thrift shop books, so they're relatively inexpensive. I've donated things, and they give you like a rebate kind of thing in Majake that you get like money off if you buy over $50. I think, I don't remember what the deal is, but it's almost like 50% off of the stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I can probably find $50 worth of books. I think at the time these were maybe selling for $3 each. I don't remember, $2 or $3 Canadian. So it's not a bad price, obviously. And so if you get a rebate on top of that, why not just compulsively collect these for the sake of collecting them? And so that's all I wanted to talk about real quick. So I wanted to do a quick vlog, and now that things are kind of settling back in, maybe I can think about content again, and actually feel like I'm in a place where of stability to bring stuff like this. That's just like, as I run into some of these books, like I'm seeing some in that corner right there that I like to talk about, that entire row there, just me trying to organize things. I don't have a perfect, like I don't have it set up yet. I don't know, the shelves aren't really picked out for these, where these need to go or anything like that. But anyways, there's stuff I would like to talk to maybe in a different episode. I will talk about some of those other things, because there's basically like a TBR I have that's like for rereads. They're like books I read 30 plus years ago, and I kind of remember details of them, but I remember like loving them when I was a teenager, but I don't remember if like they were good or bad. I don't really hear them talked about, because again, these are books that are like maybe 3 to 4 decades old, right? And so, and not to say like there's books on, there's like Stephen King, people like will cover that on YouTube and stuff like that. There's older books that are still covered, right? But I have a really niche interest in the novels I was reading, especially when I was in my teenage years, into my 20s even, and then I was like in universities where I started like broadening the kind of range of genre that I was reading. But I was pretty much in that niche gaming book genre, pulp fantasy, like things like that. I don't have like the tastes that are prolific, let's say, on YouTube. I'm willing to like dive into some stuff that some of the more modern authors and series, of course, like Brandon Sanderson and whatnot. There's a bunch of like indie authors out there that I love to delve into because I'm a fan of indie works. So this is just a little video I want to like drop and pretty much ask the question, like, is anyone else out there who has like weird compulsive behaviors where you'll pick up books just because they're part of a series or something like that, or like you keep seeing it and you're like, man, I'm just gonna take it. Like, I know there are a lot of Dean Koontz. Is he like a mystery crime? I've never read, but I know I mean, we're talking maybe 100 books of like, if he's a crime guy, it's just these are everywhere. I'm like, how old is this man? Because this thing for decades and decades. How many novels was he releasing a year? Damn, man. I think it's Dean Koontz. I'm pretty sure that's the name. In any case, there's like stuff like that where I see, and I'm like, if I see enough of a book, like, is anyone else like this out there, right? Where you see enough of them, where you're like, it's not a complete set, but there's like 5, and maybe the last number is like a 14. You're like, oh, there's 5 of at least 14, and I'm kind of like almost halfway there. So like, and then does anyone else just dive into silly things like that, and you don't even know anything about the book, but you're like, they're cheap. Where I'm at a thrift shop, or I'm at like a garage sale, or you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, man, I don't know. I got weird decades. I've been to some of this strangeness for decades, and I'd like to maybe showcase some of that strangeness just for people out there to know that you're not alone if you're like this as well. That's it. I'll catch you later. Don't forget to explore, engage in the spy. Ready? Peace.